Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. Now it is crystal clear now that Canada, they are not encouraging international students to come into Canada anymore. I mean, there's a big slash in the number of international students that will be coming into Canada this year, next year, and the year 2026. Postgraduate work permit now, there's additional requirement. There are so many changes now that has just been announced by Immigration Minister and Labor Minister. That is exactly what I'll be dissecting for you in this episode today. So I want you to hang on tight, stay tuned. I will be back. Alright viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I still remember my humble self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality, where I dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that have the aspiration of migrating to Canada. Is this your first time on this YouTube channel? Please do me the honor, hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you always be among the first to get it. And if you enjoy this video, please smash on the likes button because it helps the algorithm share this video with more people. All right, so just like I earlier stated in the introduction now that immigration September 18, the immigration minister and also the labor minister, they held a joint conference and they announced some slight changes, significant changes rather, in the immigration going forward, especially for international students. Don't forget that from late last year to beginning of this year, we've been seeing so many drastic changes that is affecting international students. Canada now is trying to discourage more people, temporary residents, coming into Canada because they felt that 2 years ago during the pandemic, the Canada economy was trying to recover, so they relaxed a lot of things so that they can accommodate more people to help the system. But now at this point now they're changing the rules, they're changing the policy because they feel that the economy has stabilized. Now they need to recover. Inflation is down to a significant number, and they are trying to encourage people that are already in Canada to get jobs because unemployment is also rising too, and they are trying to stabilize things. And that is why they've made these changes, which I'll be telling you in this episode today. So firstly, Canada next year, 2025, there will be a 10% reduction in the amount of study permit that will be accepted. For this year, the number that was the quota for this year was 485,000. So for next year, there's going to be a significant 10% drop, which will bring it down to 437,000 study permit that will be granted to international students. That's 10% drop because they are trying to reduce the number of international students that eventually make their way from different countries into Canada, because they already know that Canada is among the destination of choice for so many international students that want to study abroad. So they feel that they should try to stabilize that, they should try to reduce that by 10% for next year 2025, and by 2026 they will try to stabilize it, just because they are trying to control the number of temporary residents that comes into Canada. So their primary purpose of doing this is that over the next few years they are trying to reduce the number of international students by 300,000 that will be coming into Canada. So that is the purpose for them to actually bring up this policy of trying to slash it by 10%. And they'll be doing something like that subsequently for other years because they are trying to reduce the number of study permits by 300,000 for the next few years. So now another significant change that we witnessed based on the policy that we heard from the ministers yesterday is that PAL, Provincial Attestation Letter. Now, don't forget that earlier this year, PAL was introduced for students that are coming for their undergraduate study and also for their college education in Canada. So that means that every province has an allocation of number of international students they can bring into their province. And if you get an admission from a school, you need a PAL from that school before you can apply for study permit. But when this rule was brought earlier this year, masters and PhD students were exempted from this, only affected bachelors and undergraduate. But now Immigration Minister Mark Miller just stated clearly that it will now, going forward now, that master students at the point will also need a PAL when they secure an admission in a university, and also they also need to secure a PAL before they can apply for their study permits. All right, so going forward to postgraduate work permits, there's also a change regarding that. So the rule regarding that is that initially, when you want to apply during our own time, when you want to apply for your postgraduate work permit, all you need to do is just secure the completion letter from your school and go online and apply for it. But now, by November 1st, 2024, in the next few weeks from now, if you want to apply for your postgraduate work permit, you need CLB. You need to do your English test. And if you do your English test or French test, as the case is, the CLB, the Canadian language benchmark that you need to have if you are applying for your postgraduate work permit, as a university graduate, you need CLB 7. But if you are applying for your postgraduate work permit as a college graduate, you need CLB 5. So that means that it's not just like normal. So you can't just finish now from university or college and just go online and apply. No, you need to do your English test or French test as the case is. And the minimum you need to have, if you're a university graduate, probably you just finish your master's or whatever, or PhD, you need to have CLB. Your score needs to be a minimum of CLB 7. But if it's a college that you attended in Canada and you want to apply for your postgraduate work permit, from November 1st upward, you need to make sure you secure minimum of CLB 5. So what is their primary purpose of doing this? So the immigration minister stated unequivocally that they are trying to reduce the amount of postgraduate work permit for the next 3 years by 175,000. So they want to see a drop in postgraduate work permit for the next 3 years by 100. They are trying to slash it by 175,000. This is more like trying to say that they're trying to discourage international students from securing their postgraduate work permit. Because if you tell me that you want to slash it by 175,000 in the next 3 years, that means that when they are done studying and they can't secure that CLB 7 and CLB 5 as required, then that means they would not be able to apply for their postgraduate work permit and they've achieved their purpose. All right, so now let's look at another rule again that is going to affect international students that want to come or they are presently studying in Canada, and that has to do with Spousal Open Work Permit. So now, Immigration Minister, don't forget earlier this year, it was stated that international students that are studying for their bachelor's or their master's or their bachelor's or the college in Canada, they are not eligible to apply for spousal work permit for their spouse. If you are in college or you're doing your bachelor's, it's only allowed masters and PhD students to do that. But immigration minister is now stating that to not just be limited to to bachelor's and college that will not be able to bring their spouse, that going forward now, the master's student, if your master's program is for a period less than 16 months, you also can't bring in your spouse. It has to be duration has to be from 16 months upward in order for you to be able to bring your spouse, to apply for your spouse on SOWP. That is that for master, but for PhD, nothing was stated. So that means that if you're coming into Canada, you need to make sure, if you're married and you're coming into Canada, you need to make sure that that program that you're coming for is for a duration of at least 2 years. Anything lesser than 16 months, you will not qualify for SOWP for your partner. So what is their primary purpose? What are they trying to achieve? So by doing this, by limiting this, they are trying to reduce the number of SOWP by 50,000 for the next 3 years. So that is the purpose of trying to extend it to 16-month program and above for master students, so that they can also try to reduce that. So all they are trying to do is just to make sure that they are trying to curb the amount of people that come into Canada. All right, it's crystal clear. You can actually see for yourself that all this, the Liberal government, all they are trying to do, especially because election time is going to be anytime soon. It might even be earlier than when we expect, because already in Canada, people in Canada are already tired of the Liberal government, the Conservative, the NDP. Everybody's trying to they are yearning for good governance. They are trying to say that Trudeau must go and stuff. And that's why I feel this government in power, they are trying to win the trust of people, and that's why they are bringing in this policy. They are trying to protect the interests of people that are already in Canada, because they know that those are the people that will vote for them. So that is why they are trying to slash temporary residents from coming into Canada, so that they can actually be in power beyond next year. That's why I feel they're trying to bring in this policy to suit those that are already in the system. All right, viewers, let me know what you think about all these policies. Which one is affecting you? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please smash on the likes button, and please share this video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. Till I see you in my next video, stay out of trouble. See you soon.